Who would have thought that the Cleveland Cavaliers would have been so good despite missing two of their best players who've only come back recently, Darius Garland and Evan Mobley? Of course, their best player, Donovan Mitchell, has only missed 9 games so far, and as always, he's having an amazing season, averaging 28 points, 5.5 rebounds and 6 assists. His efficiency has gone down compared to last season, especially from 3-point range. He's shooting 46% from the field and 35% from 3 this season. Last season, he shot 48.4% from the field and 38.6% from beyond the arc. This small drop in efficiency can be explained by the fact that last year, both Garland and Mobley, who have just come back, played most of the season. Now, defenses can focus primarily on Donovan Mitchell, as he's the only star on the floor for the Cavs who can actually create shots for himself. But despite all of that, the Cavs supporting cast is really stepping up. So much so that the Cavs have the second best defensive rating this season at 111.5, behind the Minnesota Timberwolves, who are undoubtedly the best defensive team in the NBA. Let's talk a bit more about their defense. First of all, Donovan Mitchell has stepped up tremendously on the defensive end this season. He's averaging 2 steals, which puts him second in the entire league in steals per game. Donovan Mitchell is known for his offensive skills and his scoring ability, so this shows that he can also help the Cavs defense in a major way, and that is exactly what he's doing right now. You'll see him oftentimes guard the shooter in the corner if the opponent team's guard is a star. That way, the Cavs can have Isaac Okoro guard their star, and if the opponent tries to kick it in the corner, Mitchell can pick the ball off with his active hands. Most of his steals come from intercepting passes. On this play, Mitchell is guarding Jalen Suggs, who's in the corner. However, Max Strus forgets about his man as Anthony Black cuts towards the basket, and Mitchell is able to read the cut and intercept the pass. So what appeared to be an easy basket for the Magic after Strus made a mistake ended in a turnover forced by Mitchell. Here again, he's guarding his man down low who's sitting in the corner. As Beauchamp is driving towards the basket, he tries to kick the ball out to the corner, but Donovan Mitchell is able to intercept the pass once again. Finally, on this play, he's able to stick to his man who's getting what's supposed to be a DHO, but ended in a bad pass that was picked off by Mitchell. Moving on to their wings and bigs, Isaac Okoro, who I've mentioned previously, is embracing that 3-and-D role. Okoro is very athletic. He's 6'5" with a 6'9" wingspan and very mobile. He's also very strong, which makes it tough for smaller guards to power through him. Dean Wade, their power forward who's filling in for Evan Mobley, is such a key element to the Cavs defense. Him and Jarrett Allen form a brilliant defensive frontcourt. Wade's on-versus-off defensive rating is minus 8.15, and the fact that a lot of people have no idea who Dean Wade is, let alone know about his defensive impact, is crazy. That means that Cleveland allows about 8 more points when he's off the court. To put that into perspective, the Cavs are an average defensive team, only having the 14th best defense when he's off the court. And overall, they have the second best defensive rating in the NBA. And finally, their ultimate rim protector, Jarrett Allen. At this point, right now, he is crucial to their defense because if he goes down, the Cavs will be missing arguably their best defender. Also, Tristan Thompson, their backup center, was suspended 25 games for violating the NBA's anti-drug rules. So Jarrett Allen is more important than ever right now. He's 11th in defensive win shares this season at 2.2. Defensive win shares are an estimate of the number of wins contributed by a player due to defense. He's also cleaning up the glass, as we know, grabbing 10.5 rebounds, and 78% of his blocks are at the rim, so he's doing an amazing job at protecting the paint. Here are a couple of plays that demonstrate how good Allen is at protecting the rim. On this first play, DeJounte Murray does a good job at faking, taking the screen and loses his defender, leaving Allen in a 2v1 situation. However, he's able to get a great block on the Kongu as he gets a bounce pass by Murray. Here, he gets another block on the Kongu as he gets the ball in the paint from Bogdanovic. He thinks he can get a shot up after bullying his way to the rim, but Allen is very strong and has great defensive instincts, so he's able to swat the ball away. The Cavs have a pretty average offense. They had the 17th highest offensive rating at 115.6. But as I mentioned previously, two of their main pieces were injured, and I say were because Evan Mobley and Darius Garland have just returned. And apart from Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland, they do not have a single player that averages over 20 points per game. Both Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen average about 15-16 points, and that's because they're both known for their defensive abilities. However, what they lack in high volume scoring, they make up for with their efficiency. First, I'd like to talk about Donovan Mitchell. He's been averaging almost 28 points, 5.5 rebounds, and 6.5 assists. Needless to say, his scoring and assist numbers are quite high, and he's the leader of the Cavs offense. In fact, he's second in assists per game among shooting guards and 20th in the entire league while averaging this many points. 43% of his shots are three-point attempts, which may seem like a high amount, but Steph Curry's three-point attempts add up to 60% of his shots. He makes 70% of his shots at the rim, which is very decent because you have to remember he is the main scorer on the team. He takes about 21 shots a game, so he's the primary target for defenders. And he's a good finisher, so they make sure Donovan Mitchell goes in the paint as little as possible and force him to kick the ball out. And that brings us to their shooters. The Cavs have really good shooters on their team. Max Strus, who they signed last year in free agency, is known for his three-point shooting. He's 14th in the entire league in three-point attempts, in front of his teammate Donovan Mitchell and in front of guys like Desmond Bane and Michael Porter Jr. Looking at his three-point percentage, he's only making 34% of his threes, which is below average, but that's because he's a volume shooter. He shoots so many of them, and of course his reputation precedes him in the NBA. There's no way the opposing defense is willingly giving up an open Max Strus 3 because he's going to make it. And because of the absence of Darius Garland, he's had a much bigger role, for which he might have struggled a bit looking at his efficiency. The other shooter on their squad is Sam Merrill, who's made himself known as a deadly shooter in these past couple of weeks. He's averaging 43% from 3 and 85% of his shots come from beyond the arc. Having these shooters on the team plays a big part in their success, as both Merrill and Strus can knock down contested threes. On this play, Merrill gets a great open look in the corner after a great pass by Tristan Thompson. I also want to point out that Merrill has such a quick release, and he's kind of similar to Michael Porter Jr. in the sense that if he's getting the ball, there's a 95% chance he'll shoot straight away. You can see that quick release once again on this play as the shot clock is winding down and Kobe White gives him way too much space. Once again, having sharp shooters on a team is a necessity in this day and age. Every offense is about stretching the floor and spacing, and it's also why bad three-point teams like the Los Angeles Lakers are struggling right now. Although Donovan Mitchell is listed as a shooting guard, his playmaking ability remains nonetheless very impressive. He's averaging 6.5 assists and his basketball IQ is remarkable. He's developed great chemistry with his teammates, hence why they're the 4th seed. Something people might have noticed when the Cavs play is that you'll often see Donovan Mitchell bring the ball up the court and Strus and him will run a pick and pop as Strus is such a lethal shooter. Here, Damian Jones sets an initial screen for Strus, who himself is going to set a screen for Mitchell. Now, Cam Johnson is confused because he has to stay on Strus as Ben Simmons lost Mitchell. So that leaves enough space for Strus to drill a 3. Now, in these next 2 plays, Donovan Mitchell is going to take the shots. They're actually the same play really. Strus fakes a screen for Mitchell and relocates to the other side. Then, Jarrett Allen sets a screen for Mitchell, leaving him wide open for 3. The Cavs have performed really well despite losing very valuable pieces at the start of the season. If they keep up playing like they are right now, the Cavs will surely be considered a team to look out for in the East during the playoffs.